Right, so this is one of the bigger projects I've been working on, and then I got ill, and recording this all in one seemed quite impossible. I hope I don't have to take breaks, and I hope I have enough time now. So this is a all-species ranking for the species, not just dinosaurs, that are in Jurassic World Evolution. There will be on screen as I go through each dinosaur an initial ranking I made, some of those haven't changed, and then in setting up this footage and setting up this park and picking skins, there were, well, I say some, but the longer I put off this video, not really put off, but was unwell and unable to do it, the more changes I had. So I think I'm happy with where it sits now, but I will put an initial gut reaction ranking, and then where they may have jumped up or down the list, which is the order that we will go through. So starting us off, we have the Morris Intrepidus. I have a personal grievance with this dinosaur. When it was introduced in the Malta DLC of Jurassic World Evolution 2, I hated it. It lived in an enclosure and didn't function. It was so panicked and scared all the time that it starved itself to death, and I just had a nightmare trying to keep them alive. And it's also so tiny and ugly that I don't care enough to keep it alive. Sorry, but not sorry. This is a rat that's bipedal. That's just what it is. Next up, which I'm sure will cause some disappointment, we have the Concavinator. I think this dinosaur is disgusting, and I'm sorry that I can't give it the credit it gets for its fear factor. Yeah, it's like, what if the Indoraptor was uglier? The female is one thing, but the male of the species, it almost looks body horror-ish. I can just imagine that poking through the skin and stretching it, and it's kind of disgusting in a way that I've never thought that about the Spinosaurus, where its sail is so distinct. Maybe it's because the sail is the same color as the body, that it just looks like the skin's been stretched, and it makes me feel sick to look at. I guess maybe I should be kinder to it because it makes me feel physically sick and is disgusting, but sorry, not sorry. Next up we have the Aquilops. So cool. It's a cool, small movie dinosaur. Now we have that in the game. When am I ever going to use this? I cannot see it. I would like maybe use it as filler, but there are so many better options. Like, where is it right now? Just because it's being tracked. If I was like going around my park, how close would I? Yeah. So if I'm not on it. Oh, yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, that's wild. In immersion in parks, like, who is coming to see this in a dinosaur park? And for the same reason that I'm playing a dinosaur game, as people would visit a dinosaur park, I don't want to see it. So, sorry. Next up, which shouldn't be a shock, is the Interraptor. This is the worst of the worst on the hybrid trope. There's probably a lot of personal feelings involved here, because I think Fallen Kingdom is my least favourite film of the franchise. It's genuinely the turning point where I thought the series could maybe never come back. No matter how bad Jurassic Park 2 and 3 are in comparison to 1, none of them ever felt as bad as Fallen Kingdom, and this is the poster child of it. I despise this creature. It's just horrendous. It's just a genetic freak, and it's stupid laser thing in the movie. Yeah, my issues from it mostly come from the movie, but I want to use cool dinosaurs for the movie, you know? Not that ugly thing. Right, I'm going to try to keep this up, but I may have just revealed that one a little too early by hovering over the enclosure, where it says it's coming up next. But this is the Spinoceratops. Now, just ranking a little bit higher than the Indoraptor. It's just on such like a mash two creatures together thing. At least the Indoraptor has a little bit of a creepy factor. This is them trying to make a hybrid cute, and I hate it. It's the same dinosaur with a sail. It doesn't make it cool. I think there's a little bit of Spinosaurus hype, which is fair from the Jurassic community, but I think that deserves and belongs to Spinosaurus, not these hybrids that have a sail chopped on their back. So this is pretty low for what could have been a cool dinosaur. But I hate it. I hate both of its designs. I don't think the variant helped come into the new game. A lot of my issues with this dinosaur come from outside the game, where this was one of the coolest dinosaurs in my head growing up. This might be crazy pull and I might be entirely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that in an episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they were hyping the Dinosuchus up so much that it was the most intelligent dinosaur and it was going to outsmart them at everything, and it was such a threat and it had so much aura. And first we get a tadpole and then we get a chicken, and neither look particularly... I think it's in the personality that matters. I had an image of this dinosaur in my mind, not in terms of its physicality, that it could have looked like this. I would like it to look a little better than these two, but it just needed something special about it, really, and it's just a nothing raptor. Oh, a raptor with a crest, or a raptor with, you know, feathers, and the smallest of that, so there are much better feathered dinosaurs to come. Next up we have the Scorpius. Now I never watched the Camp Cretaceous or Chaos Theory, but I still appreciate a creepy dinosaur when I see one. It's got cool monster vibes in a freakier way than the Indoraptor has, and that isn't tied to something that I absolutely hate, so that's nice. But now we have a D-Rex. There's no purpose of this. The D-Rex does everything it does better. It's just more alien. I don't like Alien in my Jurassic World, or Jurassic Park, but D-Rex does it better if you're going to do it. Kind of the same principle as the Aqualops here. The Microceratus is just... it's just not great. It's just not visible. These are two gorgeous skin dinosaurs walking out. Like, they're really... there's a lot of effort that's gone into them, and they're really well done, but it is what it is, you know? I just can't see them. They're slightly bigger, which is the only thing they have over the Aqualops, but I still can't see them. Every grievance I have with the Aqualops is just going to be the same as with the Microceratus. The lowest flyer on the list is just very plain, the Sierradactylus. It could do with some wow factor against very similar species. You've got like all of the pterodons, Geostoverdia, all these species that just have the same design, and it's the smallest and most plain of all of them. So I can't justifiably put it any higher than this. Flyers also have a tough time with their enclosure type. There's just less options, same with Lagoon, which will definitely have a weighing on the rankings. The glaze for sails in this game goes crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, those are some beautiful colours, but I now have a big raptor with a slight bump on its back. Do I care at all? No, not really. Really, I don't... I'm alright. I could go without it. It's kind of as bad as the Sinoceratops, but at least it's got some wow factor in it, and it has much nicer skins. It's an Atrociraptor with a sail on its back. I'm not too interested. These bottom spots here, now that we're past a lot of the dinosaurs I really hate, are just for dinosaurs that I don't use much. The small carnivores are the worst for that category. There's going to be a fair few of them that fall here, because when am I going to use this? Carnivores are so difficult to in-house if you have comfort on. I think I combined house and enclose there, but oh well. Because they need an enclosure entirely to themselves. None of them can cope. Supposedly they can cope with scavengers, the larger carnivores, but I have not found that to be true. As soon as one of the two has a baby, everyone starts to freak out. So it's a nice design, it's a cool dinosaur, but, you know, their cool factor comes from this poison attack, and as a sandbox primarily builder, when am I taking note of their poison attack? It doesn't come up. Even if they're in combat, I'm like, oh, okay, one died of poison, or they could have died of a infected wound, you know? The wow factor that they have doesn't make them unique. It's not like they want a particularly unique environment or something that I can build around that poison vibe. They're just kind of run-of-the-mill. So this is the lowest rated marine. I don't like that it's a snake, the Plesiosaurus. It's just, how is this Nessie? I understand that there were old photos and wrong angles and things being construed and contorted, but like, how is that Nessie? It's just get rid of the flippers and give me a big eel, you know? If you're gonna have a face like that. It just isn't cool, and I would use Atombrasaurus 100 times over this. I don't know when I would use this of my own choice. And even the old dinosaurs that we haven't got back yet, the other plesiosaurids, the Styxosaurus and the Elasmosaurus, I would still choose them over. I mean, that's a cool animation, but still. And they're going to get tanked some points for just the location type, the enclosure type. The lagoon is so much more restrictive. But of all the plesiosaurs current, which is only 2, and past, this is still the lowest ranked. I think the Coelophysis is almost purely getting its higher rating over Troodon from its Triassic representation, because I would love to have more Triassic dinosaurs in the game. There aren't enough for me to make a specific Triassic park. But it's a small carnivore again. It's on the scavenger side, which again supposedly can function, not having their own solo enclosure, but I haven't found that to be the case. So it's just run-of-the-mill, not a dinosaur I hate, but a dinosaur I don't use. Now, what I said about Spinoceratops, I'm going to kind of use an irony here, because this very clearly is 2 dinosaurs mashed together in the ugliest way possible. But at least it's a tank, at least it's a unit. I find myself having use for this dinosaur. Not that it held up very well, but I used it against the D-Rex when I was showing that off. It just, at least it's this big monster that I can use, not a hybrid pretending to be cute in the background. It's ugly and it knows it. In the same way that Moracentrepidus is the rat of the lands, this is the rat of the skies. It's unique, which gets it the edge over Sierradactylus, but Sierradactylus is not as ugly as a dinosaur. I absolutely despise these guys. They just don't look. The skin is too shiny and leathery, and like it's literally hatched from an egg 1 second ago. Hang on, it kind of has, but shh, don't read into that. Yeah, it's just, I wouldn't use these. There are so many other options, I just wouldn't use these. Now we have Archaeornithomimus, so it's the lowest ornithomimid on this list. It's just behind Gallimimus, which you'll see in a little bit, and only because of the Gallimimus's legacy use. If I cut off the first third of the name of this guy, I get a much better dinosaur, so I'm sorry, I'm not using it often, I'm not picking it. So this is the lowest Hadrosaur. It's visually the least interesting. The patterning on the crest can be nice. I feel like the sexual dimorphism helps it from being completely boring in previous games. I just use it the least out of the Hadrosaurs, and someone's got to come last, you know? Its existence justifies the new open-air Avery, and I have to give it some points for that. And I guess its design is cool. I find it, unfortunately, I don't know if this is a good thing because of the amount of hybrids that there are in this game, but I find it more fitting in the game than I did in the film. So, that's something, I guess. It's weird, I hate it. It's okay. Like Coelophysis, Triassic representation is awesome, but I can't lie because of that and say it's my favourite dinosaur. This is one way in making the skins it did jump up a little in placement. I think it was a little close to the Coelophysis, because I did find some really interesting designs. But yeah, beyond that, Atrociraptor really takes the cake as evil lizard guy, I think, in this size range. Its existence has lessened my usage for this. Pachycephalosaurus, unfortunately, is the worst of a great family grouping that I quite like a lot of the dinosaurs of. It just looks stupid. It just looks... I mean, the skins are kind of nice that we've got here, at least, but it's an old design and it doesn't look great. The heads just look all wrong. Not wrong from a paleontology aspect, because this might be completely accurate. I don't know enough, but... it really does not look good. Yeah, I think I could like this design if they just changed the head up a little bit, to be honest. So the Apatosaurus I initially had ranked a little higher, but it was always the lowest sauropod. In its size range, it's the one I'm least likely to use as well, because the only other option of small sauropods is a Margosaurus that wasn't initially in the game, so this did fit that role. But you had options before, like Camarasaurus and Nigersaurus, but those options just aren't here now. So, and Amargasaurus was the best of that group anyway. This is a big canvas that there just isn't a lot of design on. You can get some nice patterning, but I've chosen these myself to find nice patterning. More than not, you're going to find something pretty boring. Sauropods just have an inherent wow factor that helps them climb a little higher, but not too high for this dinosaur. Of the ugly chickens, this one at least has nostalgia going for it. The designs you can get are quite limited and probably quite a lot closer to the Archaeornithomimus than I have in the ranking. It's at least got some iconic imagery with it. There is, unfortunately, a little bit of points towards the fact that I can make more parks with dinosaurs that are in the Jurassic Park franchise if I'm doing recreations, and personal nostalgia and favoritism from me. So this had quite a bit of a jump in the ranking on finding and designing the skins and setting up this place. I found some pretty cool ones that I like a significant amount more than all the other flyers in the area. It's still a bit boring. It's not, it's not particularly exciting. It's quite plain, but if I compare that to the plainness of Sierradactylus, it's above and beyond. It's not a dinosaur that I'm going to use much, especially when you have more pretty options and more bigger options and legacy options, but of the ones in here, it easily stands out. The whole Piscoville group was cooked as soon as the Wetlands DLC came out, and the Rebirth variants and all that stuff. You already have something as iconic as Spinosaurus leading the group, and then they just don't do any favours to these dinosaurs with the designs. Around the same level as Barry, which you'll see where I rank that in a second, but it's just, like, maybe I'm being too mean to it because it's not even a dinosaur anymore. Like, is Suchomimus dead? Are you even a dinosaur? But it's just, yeah, I don't know. They're a bit leathery, they're a bit ugly. I don't find the need to use them very often. Now, this ranking above Suchomimus is purely on its outside of game lore. I love this dinosaur when it showed up in, I think it was Walking with Dinosaurs, or one of those old classic programs, and I fell in love with this creature. I thought it was so cool. I thought this dinosaur was awesome, and then they go and do this to it? What is it? If I'm being objective, maybe the Suchomimus is better, but I don't know. They're neck and neck, and I had to make a decision in the end, but they're both really ugly, and yeah, Piscovals don't stand a chance. So now, I'm a hypocrite, but this is a cute hybrid. Sauropods don't need to look menacing and aggressive, where the Ceratopsids maybe need some of that wow factor because of their combat abilities. The design on the Ankylodocus is gorgeous. As soon as they fixed its face from the previous game, it just looks so much better now. It can almost get away with being a real dinosaur. It doesn't look abnormal, it doesn't look smashed together, it's just kind of cool. But unfortunately, it is still going to come second to almost any other sauropod, only beating out the Apatosaurus. On a more personal note, the name of this guy just irritates me. I got issues with it anyway. The spines are annoying. I just not been a fan of the shoulder spines. It really brings the group down for me and puts Stegosaurus on a level above because it doesn't have that feature. The fact that they all just kind of have them is just annoying. You just have a lot better options, and by a lot better options, you only have 3 other options in this game, but if you look at beyond this game, I'm going to shout about Werosaurus coming back again, but I love that dinosaur. I love Stegosaurus. I even love Kentrosaurus now to a degree. It does still have the shoulder spines, but at least it has some other interesting things. The plates on these guys, the Thagomizer on these guys, no. All they've got is their Gigantospines, which is a stupid name. Kind of crazy how a dinosaur I'm never going to see is ranking this high, but you've got legacy, you've got nostalgia, and they're just kind of cute. I love the way they hop around, I love the little noises they make. The amount that I use them is artificially boosted because of their involvement in the campaigns so frequently, Yeah, I love them. They're really cool. They're still ranking quite low because of their size, because you can't see them, because of the limitations and enclosures, but they're kind of cool. This has been my least favourite carnivore for most of... Were they in one? I can't remember, but at least the last game, if not both games. I feel like in redesigning them, it's really helped. No, they haven't jumped up massively. I still think they're quite ugly in like a concavinator way, without the weird body horror. I don't like the little bump on their head, and they still feel a little thin, if you'll actually stop spinning and look at me. It feels a little artificial and like someone squashed their head between their hands. But at least they're not leathery. They really improved. They were weird and shiny and did not have good skin options in the previous game. So I do appreciate what they've done with them. But there are just better options. The Syntasaurus is nothing special, but it's not plain either. It just comes kind of middle of the pack. I mean, we're not exactly the middle of the list, but maybe as an average Hadrosaur, it's kind of that role. I would use them occasionally if I feel like I haven't used them recently. They outshine Corythosaurus, but can't do much more than that, unfortunately. The crests and the skins are kind of nice, but yeah, there are just better options. And here he is, she is, the Distortus Rex, probably about to kill everyone. This is now the coolest monster for the game, and this is ranking quite high, but it does fit a role. It's not boring. There are dinosaurs I like more, but will use less, that are lower ranked. Scorpius Rex stands no chance anymore. It's just... it's far behind. Yeah, the animations that they did for this guy just makes him stand out so much. The kill animations, the social animations. There's a lot of work that has gone into this not dinosaur that I can really appreciate, even though I don't know how much I'll be using it. Now, this one's probably going to annoy someone, but the aura of the Velociraptor since Jurassic Park 1 has been on a rapid decline. Maybe one time, long ago, I thought these were cool dinosaurs, but that is gone. They have some nice skins in terms of pulling ones from the movies, but their base skins are ugly. They do not get options. There's been no variant for such a legacy dinosaur that has existed in so many movies, so much media. It's just so overhyped. There are so much better options now. Even the Trociraptor is more exciting to me. And I'm rarely excited to see this dinosaur in media anymore because of the legacy it has behind it. If, you know, the next Jurassic film has a Velociraptor in it, I'm going to be like, oh, I guess, what are they going to make it do this time? You know, as if it's their dancing bear. Not any excitement. So why would I be excited to put it in my park if I feel that way about the species in general? What an interesting dinosaur. Peak male design. Peak baby design. Let's smash the female on the head with a spade. What are you doing? What's your thought process between this de-aurification? The male looks so good. That's such cool sexual dimorphism. But in introducing the male, you've just taken any, like, it's too much. It's too much of a difference between the two of them. Where this isn't a cool dinosaur anymore. I don't know what happened here. I really don't know what happened. This was my favourite Ankylosaurid from at least Jurassic World Evolution 2 and 1. I can't remember that far back if it had it in it. There was a connection I'd formed with one of these in my park where I just had it as this lone wolf roaming around the park, owning the enclosure, living their best life. And now, as the lowest Ankylosaurid, I don't know what's happened. I don't know how it's been dethroned so much. I've just grown apart. Or more to the point, I've really liked the other Ankylosaurids more. Quite frankly, this dinosaur comes down to crests are cool, Exhibit A. It's a small carnivore. I'm not going to use it. But it's not a Velociraptor, it's not a Troodon, it's not a Coelophysis. It's got a little bit more going on. it's still a small carnivore that I'm barely going to use. So unfortunately, this species comes through as the second lowest marine, but it's not its fault. It's not its fault. I love the Ichthyosaurus. I really like this dinosaur. It's so cool, but it's the same issue as trying to run enclosures of multiple carnivores. Who do I house this with? I build a lagoon. Am I really putting an Ichthyosaurus in it? Because it's just going to get killed by anything else. We need more small marine animals. It doesn't make sense that this is the only one that we've got. It's such a niche. It's not like the aviaries where we have two big and then the rest are kind of the same size with slight variation. This is by far the smallest and gets dominated by everything. But I absolutely love its design. We either need more small marine or we need vegetarian marine. Surely there's some marine animals we can get that are eating plants. That would also massively improve lagoons in general, I think, if we had plant-eating species. And close behind Ichthy, we have the Liopleurodon. I like Ichthyosaurus more, but unfortunately, because of what I've just explained, I'm going to use Liopleurodon even slightly more, just because of its larger size. It fits the wow attraction of a lagoon. If I could make a multi-lagoon with Ichthyosaurus housed with another small or vegetarian, then that would easily be a favourite over Liopleurodon. But it's at least much better than a plesiosaur. I've kind of accepted its crocodilian nature. It's not something I'm going to use very often, but it's alright. Next up, you got the Dracorex. It's not the worst. It's again in a really cool species group, family grouping. It's a bit its design. I wasn't like thrilled that it was coming back because there are better options, but it's something else to use. It's something for variety. It's not something I hate. I would only use this though if I was bored of the other higher ranked options, to be honest. The lowest ranked species I have out of the Crocodilia Coast, well, DLC, this is the free update, dinosaur is Elasmosaurus. This is not a bad dinosaur. This is very cool and an immediate above plesiosaur. Obviously, it's been out for 3.5 hours as of doing this, so this is a very hasty ranking, and I've tried to not be too kind to them. But yeah, the Elasmosaurus is ranking quite high above not just the plesiosaur, but also the Ichthyosaur and Liopleurodon. I love it. I love it. I think the baby's cute. I think the designs are cute. I think the skins are really good on this dinosaur. Really pops. And is a contender against Atomprosaurus. Yeah, I'll definitely be using them in my parks. So, Chunkingosaurus does what Gigantospinosaurus does, but better. Which really isn't saying much, because I don't like what Gigantospinosaurus does. But it has a little bit of cute factor, which is the unique element. It can barely have these be called plates. They're basically spikes, or spines rather, and the shoulder spines are less egregious in this form. Yeah, it's just kind of a cute version of a bad dinosaur in my mind, so, you know, it's not something to write home about. Now, unless I've missed one, or we're talking about sauropods wading... Oh, what's happened there? That's interesting. You're in the floor. Anyway, this is the least cool deep water dinosaur. It's just ugly. Especially the base female model. The male has this... I chose this design because I actually thought this one looked cool. I'm going to call it makeup. It's not makeup, but I'm calling it makeup. On its face really helps distract from how ugly the little rat face is. Whereas the females don't have that on any of their design. This is the design from the movies, but all the female designs don't have any of this colouring on the darker part of their snout, I guess you'd call it. So it's just, I don't know, it's not too excited. It used to be the cool chicken in Jurassic World Evolution 2, but now there's so many more feathered options that it has a lot tougher competition. I always forget that this is in the game, which is a real shame. So much so that in making this list, I have been using a lot more of the dinosaurs I don't give enough love to more frequently, especially my Canadian park build, which the Dunkleosteus features. I like its design. I really do. I think it's really cool. I think it's more interesting than taking a species that is just a big version of an existing animal. I'm sure there's no one who gets that reference. And just making a big version of existing. I do prefer it to the Megalodon, but unfortunately it doesn't have the same benefits that the Megalodon does. Speaking of the Megalodon, here it is, really just one little point ahead of the Dunkleosteus, and all that point is the shark feeder. This species has an interaction that the Dunkleosteus doesn't have the access to, and it makes sense that that's the way round things are, but when the lagoon is so limited for options of what you can do, it makes sense that when someone can do the shark feeder, they're just going to rank a bit higher. The design on them's nice. I do like some of the patterning, especially like this colour. That is really quite beautiful. But it's a shark. It's just a big shark. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that makes people mad. It's just a big shark. I don't get it. Next up, you got Chasmosaurus. They're a bit plain in quite a diverse field. It has some things going for it in its design. I do like the patterning on the crest, but that's kind of all that's going on. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't seem particularly interesting or textured. It's all a bit flat. The male obviously has a little bit more going for it, but the horns almost look odd and artificial in that way. Yeah, they're just way better ceratopsids out there. Even Sinoceratops could possibly have a leg up on this one if the female wasn't so awful. Here we have the Indominus. Ironically, my favourite hybrid, when this is the one that started the downfall into hybridization that the film franchise has now taken. It's just got things going for it. It's got the camouflage. It's got the factor that you can house it with velociraptors, which like makes it so unique as a large carnivore. I get that it's not a dinosaur, but if I pretend that it's a dinosaur, it's a really cool dinosaur. It breaks the issues that large carnivores have in this game, which is such a benefit to it. But it's still, you know, still a hybrid that I'm not going to use very often. It has been my favourite plesiosaur in all of the games. So, obviously, it's only beating Plesiosaurus here, in that group. But it's beating, a fair few other lagoon species, and it's also beating, in previous games, the Elasmosaur and the Styxosaurus. I like those dinosaurs a lot more than Plesiosaur, but the design of this, the naming helps. This is what, you know, Plesiosaur should look like. It's not snaky, it's... I don't know how to describe it, but this is what a plesiosaur looks like to me. Next up we have Tapejara, who maybe in the initial gut ranking to the actually placing them for the final ranking, and picking skins, I think had the biggest jump in the game. So we'll see where Kyojara ranks later. It is a bit higher, but with Kyojara in the game, I thought this species had nothing to offer. I thought it was just the weaker version of the two, which is what I'm standing by. But to rank it so low that I did on my gut reaction without checking out the skins and giving it a second chance, a second thought, which I then ended up doing, it's beautiful. It's still beautiful. It's limited because it's in the aviary. I hate looking at the feet, because there's just less for them to do. There's less interactions, there's less space, there's less opportunities for them to get the same shine that land dinosaurs do. The same will always go for lagoon dinosaurs. But yeah, this is still a beautiful dinosaur. Nope. Flying reptile. Just because something is slightly better than it. Because Tapejara was so far off the Pterodon. The iconic Pterodon that is so distinct to the franchise. Only just beat the Tapejara now. It really nearly took it. The old model is kind of gross, so I'm really glad we got the updated one. It's an icon, and it is, to my memory, a bit larger than the rest of the smaller flying reptiles, but we've got many of the same shape and design. It's one that I would pick almost purely because of its legacy rating. But when I am thinking of legacy rating, and I'm thinking of two dinosaurs, two flying reptiles that look exactly the same, I'm thinking of this, and I'm thinking of Sierradactylus, and I'm like, I would always pick the Pterodon. And I would still always use the Pterodon a little bit more than everything else that is in here. Next up, we have the Dreadnoughtus. It's alright. We're getting to about the middle of the pack here. The variant helps a lot, but its gigantic size, that especially the variant, made a lot more interesting. It has a competition now. Pazzica Titan was up there from the release of this game, but now you have Titanosaurus to compete with, and people are still, you know, hoping that Argentinosaurus gets in the game as well. I am too. The Dreadnoughtus doesn't have anything particularly special going for it anymore. It used to be, you know, it used to be great, but now it doesn't get used as much by me because it's the, you know, where are we at? Third worst sauropod, I think? And that might even be including the hybrid sauropod, so yeah. It used to be ranked so much higher, but like, in my mind, but it's really quite fallen off. Next up, we have the Shonisaurus. Now, I know this is a fan favourite that's coming in quite low. Again, it does get a lot of, you know, points dropped for just being a lagoon species, and I can admit that the skins are gorgeous, but I'm glad to have it. I'm not glad to have it. It is beautiful, but in a very aggressive grouping, it is quite background. It fits the role, but not quite as like a sauropod would, and it's a pretty sauropod, but I can't give it Titanosaur status, but I think it would do so much better if there were even more variety to the lagoons, where I have this as a big giant, and then there are a bunch of smaller ones with it. If the exact ichthyosaur design that we've already had was this size, I think I would prefer it more to the Shonisaurus. I think they've got more going on. I appreciate that it's a big balloon. It is what it is. It's not massively exciting. It's beautiful, but it's not exciting. Then we got Iguanodon. It's got cooler lore than it does in game, unfortunately, which quite a few dinosaurs do have on, really on the unfortunate end of things. But yeah, I've got both variants out here. Which one round is this? This is the base variant, the Jurassic World Evolution one, and it's really quite pretty. I quite like the design of it. It's got nice patterns. What is this? I get that thing maybe wouldn't have fit the movie, but it's pretty, and this is the movie one, and it's really ugly, and I hate it. It doesn't look good. It doesn't even have that big a thumb. You know, that's the aura of the Iguanodon. Just not as cool as it is in real life. Now we got the Atrociraptor. These are just cool guys. As I've previously mentioned, why would I make these raptor-looking small to medium carnivores anymore when the designs on the Atrociraptor are gorgeous? I mean, this is just doing what the tiger skin of the Velociraptor did better, and it's bigger and it's more threatening, and bigger kind of is better in a dinosaur game in like 90% of cases. And then this skin is also absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they're just better raptors. They made better raptors in the game, and I've already said all my grievances with raptors. I'd use these guys. The Struthiomimus is just a middle of the pack ornithomimid. It has fantastic skins and colours in comparison to Gali and Archaeorni, and it's got some nostalgia because remembering all the way back to Jurassic World Evolution 1, this was one of the first dinosaurs you made along with Edmontosaurus. Yeah, it's actually got more nostalgia for me than the Gallimimus has because of its appearance in Jurassic Park. Making this as one of the first dinosaurs I ever made was, yeah, really stuck with me. Now I have a sign in my kitchen that says Momentosaurus, and that is because this was the name of the head table at my wedding, and it's all designed up and nice, and I even have a figurine to go with it. With all that in mind, it sounds like, I mean, the Dreadnoughtus is blocking the shot, trying to reclaim its spot Whoa, I'm rhyming. It would sound like this would be a very highly ranked dinosaur for that reason, but there were just some logistical reasons of why the table ended up being called that dinosaur. There were cooler dinosaur tables at the wedding that weren't the head table. I don't know how that ended up happening. I think it was a pronunciation issue. But yeah, it still gets a couple of bonus points there for that, and you know, if I'm looking at these two together, I know this is the worst variant of the Dreadnoughtus, but it's just a little bit higher. It's very tall, it's very cool, but again, there are way better options at the moment. Everyone that plays this game is gonna have a connection with Maiasaura. Cabot Jr. has an important role in all of our lives. If you've played this game, they very cleverly attach you to this dinosaur. And it's not a bad looking one either. It's a really quite iconic herd dinosaur to be filler in certain enclosures. It's not going to be the top ranked for that reason, but it's got some nice skins, and yeah, there's a little bit of nostalgia with it. So, this is quite a low ranking for Thanatos Dracon, but it was kind of weird when it got added to the game. I didn't know too much about this flying reptile. Its name is awesome. I respect its name. I do love Thanatos. That's mainly from Kid Icarus, playing that growing up. But it's got an awesome name. But it's just got less wow than the Kets. The Kets is better looking, it's bigger, it has legacy, it has movie tie-ins. Yeah, it's just a slightly less good Kets, you know? But in the same way that I have the Tapejara ranked quite high and the Kyojara ranked quite high, and another unique smaller flyer ranked quite high that we'll see in a bit. If there was another new big flying reptile to be added to the game, I would want it to have something quite different. A big crest or a big tail, different wing design, just something different. It's too similar to the Kets. Metrocanthosaurus used to be quite a high-ranked dinosaur in my mind. It has really nice skins, especially the stripes it gets. I found the skin on the right when moving through this. That one was made manually, and I think it's really, really cool. It's just, you know, when I have a medium carnivore, even though the other one is a medium carnivore, if I have a medium carnivore of this size, with really cool patterning, and I have an Albertosaurus, which technically isn't a large carnivore, but it is a lot bigger than this, with nice skins, who am I picking? Bigger is better. Oh, why couldn't they do him justice? This is one of my favourite real-life dinosaurs. It, again, has lore, and it has aura. And the skins just suck. The best I could get here is the same body colour with a slight tint and some cool facial blush. That's it. It's gonna be topped by other ankylosaurids primarily for the skins, some of which I really like, and I like the grouping as a whole. But yeah, their skins are just a bit plain. The blue's nice, but if I'm clicking on random, I don't get that one very often because it's kind of only that one that's good. Yeah, they're just better in the size range, better in the group. Another quite big jump up in the ranking. I initially had of all the feathered dinosaurs, this one's quite ugly. I think that's primarily to do with its snout. It's almost as ugly as the Pyroraptor, but it has way better feathering. I think it's the face that's the issue for me, if I zoom into this one. Yeah, I don't know. Without the face, it looks great. But I'm just not a fan. But I've come around a bit in designing these skins. The colour I was able to get on the end of this snout really helps alleviate my issues with it. I couldn't describe it specifically, but if I compare this one here to this one where it doesn't have the colour on the snout, or does have a colour but a lot more muted one, it's just not as good. I don't know, has the same kind of facial issue as the Pyroraptor, I believe. Next up we have the Titan. This is the peak of the crested hadrosaurs in terms of design. There are going to be ones that rank a little higher, but there are going to be other reasons for that. It looks majestic, it looks regal. This Dreadnoughtus is really breaking apart all of my shots. Yeah, it easily stands above the previously ranked Korean Centaurosaurus for its design, but more interesting designs. for other dinosaurs. It just has great skins. A very cute, very well designed, great skins dinosaur. It's unfortunately outshined by the Dryosaurus in every occasion that I want to use it. But when I do use it, I think it's great. It's just small, and small doesn't go down particularly well. Albertosaurus had such a weird design in the previous games that I really think they fixed, similar to the Majungasaurus. It used to have this sheen, almost as if it was metallic, but they've really got rid of that, and I think it massively helps. Its size helps its wow factor in the group, especially when I compared it to that of Metrocanthosaurus, where the designs are equally as cool. Keep calling this medium carnivore, you know? It's barely in that size range. Oh, the big chonk. Here they come. What a weird dinosaur. With just a huge belly. We love the chonk. Yeah, this is cool. I think I'm attributing too much of this to personality when I'm ranking this over something like Albertosaurus. Its size helps because it does get itself into the large carnivore group, but when I see the two of them here on screen, is there that much difference between them? This one is cooler, unfortunately, for Albertosaurus. If Albertosaurus was just that little bit bigger, had that little bit more aura, maybe. But this one is full of personality, full of sass, and is a chonky girl. So one of the two newest dinosaurs added to the game. This is quite a decent ranking on debut compared to the Sierradactylus, which was added just before. It's quite high. When I was thinking about this dinosaur, because I started writing this ranking before it came to the game fully, and then I did the showcase and really changed my mind on it. I was thinking this is just Triceratops Part 2 and it's going to be boring and look the same. It's really well patterned, really well textured. I love the detail that's gone into it. It's got really cute babies. The sexual dimorphism isn't egregious and is kind of nice. Yeah, it's just good stuff. It's not going to rank higher than, you know, other ceratopsids that have a bit more interesting stuff going on, a bit more legacy, you know. It's pretty middle of the pack cool. Dilophosaurus over Velociraptor any day. For the legacy species to come out, this dinosaur didn't get murdered into the ground with its usage. Now, obviously the frills are the exciting part of it, and it doesn't use that too much in the game. But when it first comes out the enclosure and I see the frill, it looks fantastic. And the skins really aren't bad. I really particularly like this one. Next up out of the DLC, we have the Postosuchus. Again, I'm slotting these in, having recorded the whole thing already, and only having the DLC for about 3 hours or so. These are gorgeous. Now, I'm glad they're not bigger for once, on the smaller side, because I think they do just blend in with a lot of Tyrannosaurids. I was thinking of like the Dominion Giganotosaurus. It does look a little similar to that, but its size really helps you. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. The patterning, all of Frontier's newly designed species are just fantastic. I wish they could go and polish some of the more boring ones from the first game, which they have done with certain species they've kept out. But like putting Corythosaurus, for example, straight in, I think that could be a great species with a bit of polish. But yeah, it's just beautiful, and it's got some wonderful animations. It actually uses its arms, and its size makes it really quite unique because it is like someone has shrunk a large carnivore size. Speaking of, another dinosaur that jumped quite a fair bit on ranking. I thought that I would be ranking quite a few of the bigger ceratopsids over this one, similar to the Aquilops and the Microceratus. But the effort that has gone into the design, the newer dinosaurs that have been added in Jurassic World Evolution 3, even though loads got cut, and those that are being re-added, the effort that has gone into them, it's just gorgeous. Like, this is a beautiful dinosaur, and it just has something unique about it being in this size where it's not so small, but it's probably about the size of a Chunkingosaurus, which means it's still usable and not invisible. And then you've got the frills as well, you've got the way it walks. It's so different as a ceratopsid, I love it. And now we have the Kyojara, which, again, I initially wrote as swooping in to absolutely destroy Tapejara, which is still true, but not to the degree I believed it to be initially. It did take its thing, and it just did it better. The crests are absolutely gorgeous, especially that of the male, where it has just such a big crest, and its little fluffy body, I absolutely adore it. Yeah, it's really good. The female design isn't too special. It's still a bit fuzzy, but the crest is a little similar to Tapejara, but having this design on the male where the crest is absolutely huge, yeah, it's really good stuff. Big crest go burr. Right, similar to the Velociraptor, this is gonna annoy some people. I think it's overrated too. Yeah, I think it's overhyped. I think the reason that people go feral for Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3 is just because it was different. Why couldn't they use different dinosaurs more often? Okay, we got the Gigantosaurus, but it looks disgusting. But, like, T-Rex has always been the villain dinosaur, or the savior dinosaur in the more recent movies. It does have more things going for it. It did go up in my mind following the being able to swim and the new variant. It does look better, and being able to swim in deep water has really helped it. So it does have those factors going for it, but it's still just an overhyped dinosaur that has dropped a little bit in its wow factor, personally. Even I think I'm insane when back-to-back you have T-Rex and then ranking with the Mutabarosaurus. I have always called it Mutabat, which is not correct, which I've only recently noticed. It's like the Maiasaurus with slightly less connection with all the Cabot Jr. stuff, but I think it's cooler. I think its skins take the cake. I think its design, where it hasn't gone in for this crest, similar to the Maiasaur, but it has done it better. Yeah, the colours you can get, the patterns, the skins, it's a gorgeous dinosaur. I love it. So, the Diplodocus, what a fall from grace. This is a lot of people's favourite dinosaur. Obviously, I don't want to have a game with 0 dinosaurs or only brand new dinosaurs, but man, could this do with a little bit more love between Jurassic World Evolution 2 and 3 if they just give it a little bit of a polish. There are a lot of dinosaurs I feel about that way, but the Diplodocus could really do with it because there are just so many cool sauropods now. Everyone went tall and it went long, and for a while it was just the really cool, unique sauropod in its design because it was the long one, because it was so different to the other sauropod options. But Titanosaurus does both better, unfortunately. Especially its face, it just needs the Ankylodocus treatment. I can't have the Ankylodocus looking better than the Diplodocus, you know? It needs a little bit of help. Next up, we have the Oviraptor, and yeah, I feel like when I was so harsh on small carnivores, this could be like a top 5, top 10 dinosaur if it was bigger, and if small carnivores weren't as useless. These are really cool, they're beautiful, the omnivorous nature, they've just got so much going for it, but it is knocked down by its size range and its eating habits, like the scavenger grouping. But it kind of doesn't matter still. Kind of doesn't matter, you know? Yeah, a little bit hypocritical, but oh well, they're absolutely gorgeous. I've heard a lot of people have fallen off the hype train of the Mosa. I still love this guy, and I have since day one. I guess there are more interesting options now, but when I am designing a park and I'm thinking of a centerpiece, I'm thinking of hey, this is where all the guests are going to convene and they're going to view this big attraction after seeing the other little bits, the other ecosystems, the one enclosure carnivores, you know. This is a species that deserves its one in an enclosure. I think most lagoon kind of have to have that anyway, but if I want to put a T-Rex or a Mosasaurus in the middle of the park to say, hey, here's the big attraction, guests, come look, it's Mosasaurus every time. It's a shame because Lagoon doesn't get that much to do, but it's got the shark feeder, and it does it excellently, and the skins are brilliant, and it's got a variant now. Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing. And now we have the Parasaurolophus. When I play campaign, or I'm building sandboxes, I use, or used to use, especially with the limited sauropod options before this game, the Brachiosaurus so frequently. Brachiosaurus was a favourite of mine before we had the mass diversity of sauropods that we do now, and Parasaurolophus pairs with Brachiosaurus so well. The nut enclosures that you can make with these guys, I use them so frequently. The big downside of these is the variant issue. The fact that there isn't a variant, because this design is inherently more ugly than this design. The movie Dominion design is gorgeous. The stripes, the different head, I think it looks way better. And I wish we could have different skins for this and have it as a full variant. But hopefully they will do that one day, because I think Parasaurolophus would massively jump up the ranking if we could have more that look like this. Oh man, this dinosaur should be so much higher. Why can't it swim? Why can't it go in deep water? This is such a cool design. It's the good Pyro. Like, it's so much better than Pyroraptor, and it came in the wetlands pack. Why can't it swim in deep water? Yeah, it's a real shame that it can't. You could even take Pyro's ability off it, you know? It only did that for the movie. I don't know what the biology is on it, the paleontology, if it did swim in deep water, but surely this did when it literally eats fish, so... I've come around a bit on Kentrosaurus. I didn't used to like it at all. I've got one of each coming out of the enclosure now. It was saved by its variant. I would think, especially with the exclusion of Werehusaurus, which I'm going to keep shouting at the sky, Stegosaurus was far above and beyond the best. But now we actually have a good option. One that I still will use secondary to the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus is going to be a fair bit higher. And I still don't like the shoulder spines. But the plates are something, and it's got a good Thagomizer, and it's got good skins. It just has the intimidation factor, has the size, when I compare it to this thing here, which is ridiculous. This is nearly identical, besides the kind of jagged plating, which they've used to a better effect in the variant. This is nearly identical to the Gigantospinosaurus, and I hate it. I would only ever use the other variant. Again, gonna look like a bit of a hypocrite for the start of the video, but this is the peak of small. This is the last tiny one. They have so much sass. They are absolutely gorgeous. I think that's the movie skin. The skins you can get on these guys are really cool. They just, I don't know, they're just little guys. They're just little guys. I can't say much more than that about it. Next up, you have the Patagotitan, which has massively deranked here. I still think they're gorgeous. I still think they're wonderful and such a cool design to come to the game. But is it unique in its design? Or did they, for no reason whatsoever, kill Allosaurus from the DLC in Jurassic World Evolution 2, right at the end, which was a fan favourite dinosaur, one of my favourite as well. And I think Allosaurus is better in design. Maybe also lost some points because I was shouting at it at the campaign for being the neediest thing in existence. But, you know, I shouldn't rank it based on that. Maybe it dropped a little. Now, I treat this dinosaur as the cattle of the game. The Sutoceratops is just peak filler. If I have a big, tall enclosure ecosystem, this is my, like, guaranteed dinosaur that's going in it. The bodies aren't, you know, the most interesting in the world. There's a bit of coloration on them, but the frills are gorgeous, especially this design I found. It's so different and it's striking and it stands out. Yeah, I love it. We love our cattle. Maybe this is another case of lore being above game, but I don't really know what lore I'm going off of. The park ideas when it comes to these guys being this snowy king and ice queen. It's just stuck with me since Jurassic World Evolution 2, where I had a build, I had a park on them, based around them, and the current series I'm doing now, the Canadian park build, was kind of based off these guys and doing this snowy park. Yeah, I don't use them enough. They're really cool. And the design is beautiful, the crest is beautiful, the spotting down their back, yeah, what a great dinosaur. Now we have the Desmatasuchus. What a beautiful creature. Again, I've just glazed the Postasuchus in recording, but like, their new designs, Frontier are absolutely cooking. It's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Look at the colours you can get on it. The spotting and the green and down its back, and then you move on to the male with the red. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I adore this, and it's so unique. I said in my species showcase, it's almost giving Ice Age. Like, it's not obviously from that era, but it's getting closer. This is the closest thing I think we have to, like, Ice Age. I mean, if you think of the movie specifically, like the first and second movie, the snout, maybe this is more Ankylosaurid vibe, which it also isn't, but armored dinosaur. But you look at the snout from the front, and I'm like, oh, that could fit in with all the weird creatures from that film series, or, you know, the Ice Age in general, whether those were accurate or not. Yeah, really cool, really unique. I'm going to be using this a lot. I'm trying not to let the recency bias take over. Okay, maybe I'm crazy. This has a special place for me. It's not got the best designs in the world, but it's just so unique. This is what I was on about when we see the next inevitable big flyer come to the aviary. I hope they have something unique going about them. The hammerbeak and the fact that they use it for kill animations is so cool. Most importantly, when this came to the game in Jurassic World Evolution 2, I believe, it was one of the first flyers I built in the campaign, and I used redwood trees, and I created an enclosure that has just an actual formative memory in my mind. It was beautiful. The idea of having woods in an aviary was just so cool. And then they were perching, and yeah, maybe nostalgia is going for this one, but it's just such a unique dinosaur. And here they are themselves, the legends, the icons, the OGs. It takes a lot to beat them. It dominated Jurassic World Evolution 1 and early Jurassic Evolution 2. It just held the top spot, and there's so much film nostalgia and, yeah, and game nostalgia, and it's awesome. And there's even a variant that helps with the typical sauropod pattern issues. Yeah, it's just great. It's got everything going for it, except the fact that it has been dethroned by these more colourful species where there's a lot more going on. It's got the edge on the Patagotitan, especially when I'm seeing, like, the designs I've picked out here. Brachiosaurus can often be plain, but you get the right skin, and I really like this one. Now, when the Wetlands pack was coming out, there was a lot of disappointment for this dinosaur. I can safely say I wasn't on that. I wasn't about that, because I like my herbivores more. One of them is going to rank a little bit higher, but the Osteoraptor ranked lower. It just wasn't interesting. It didn't have that much going for it. It's a very beautiful design, but I'm going to use Hypsilophodon more. It's doing almost everything that a Dryosaurus is doing. Unfortunately, Dryosaurus is going to come just a little bit higher. Coming up next. It's small, but not too small. It's easy to use. It's the peak of filler herds. Maybe with time, I would lean towards the Hypsilophodon. I can't decide that yet because they're brand new. I have used this dinosaur so many times. It's a good opener. It's a good for the petting zoo. It's good in herds. It's just, I use this dinosaur so much. Having Hypsilophodon in the game gives me more options. We'll have to see again in the future whether I still think this is the peak of that role. The Allosaurus has nice skins, has a beautiful variant. Both kind of the original and the variant are great. The animations are fantastic. I pick it with relative consistency over a lot of the other ones that have come before. Yeah, it's really pretty, and It supports the illusion that cohabitation amongst carnivores exists, which is something I desperately want to be possible, even though it fails every time. Allosaurus goes along with it, usually until babies come around. Okay, obviously this is this high. This is gorgeous, this is a wonderful addition to the game. Why would I ever want Archaeornithomimus when I could have the superior Ornithomimus? I don't know how related they are because of their names, but surely a little bit. It owns almost all the Ornithomimids, especially the ones in this kind of like this look, this layout. The only one to top it is very different from all of them, and is weird that it's an Ornithomimid. But I will say as a slight drawback, does it kind of not fit the same role because of its size? It's amazing, but where I want to use Gallimimus and Archaeornithomimus and Struthiomimus, this feels a little big. I use them in the same way that I would as like a third, a fourth, a fifth dinosaur in an enclosure, and they shouldn't be that. They should be a main attraction. So maybe I should have them a little higher up in their priority within enclosures. And next up we have the Chanjiaosaurus. It's really fun, it's unique, it's got just so much advantage in its size range, the design of it. It's just got a little bit over dinosaurs like Allosaurus that were close to it. It's not the #1 option, and I think the wow factor it had on debut is slightly starting to wear off. Obviously it's fantastic, but do I really think it's one of the best dinosaurs ever? Which is definitely what I thought on its release. This dinosaur asks, what if a ceratopsid just did a little more, you know? There's just so much going on, it's so cool. It's got cool frills and design, lovely patterns. It's, yeah, there's just more happening, you know? There's more to what is happening with its leg. Oh no. I love that we've had some glitches so far. This is great. And then following that we have the Psittacosaurus. This was one of the coolest new dinosaurs, so unique, so much so that I thought it was an alien, but the fact that this is an actual dinosaur is awesome. The tail frills are amazing, the patterns are amazing. If you've watched the Canadian park building series, you know how I feel about this design in particular, a devastating story that is tied to it that I won't spoil if you haven't checked that out. But it's gorgeous, it's got some lovely eyeliner, you know, the frills are great. They're just cooking on their new designs. That's why I want some of the older ones to get touch-ups, because like, how can they compete with this? It's beautiful. And now if I were to do a ranking on the previous game, this would have come much higher. Isolated in a vacuum, this is such a cool dinosaur that I adore. Top favorite dinosaur even. It's unique, it can't be matched, but it hates most things, and building enclosures around that is really quite annoying. The amount of times I use a Therizinosaurus are really limited. It just despises the existence of everything. It has the same issues that a carnivore would have, where I have to house it by itself. And now onto the Spinosaurus. Now, I don't know which one I prefer. The base variant that has all the iconic legacy from Jurassic Park 3, or the updated, more accurate models. Both, I think, look great, but I think this is the one with the aura. This is the one that all the hype is about. I'm not as massive on the hype, and I think this dinosaur is a little overrated, but not as much as Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus. It is overrated and overhyped because of its breaking the norm in Jurassic Park 3, where it gave us something different finally.
Do we have a contender for best lagoon species? I think I'm gonna be higher on this than a lot of people are, but oh my gosh. It's not quite the best lagoon species. But yeah, to show off these properly, I'm being mean to the new DLC. I'm really being mean. I don't want recency bias to take over here. I wouldn't be shocked if I revisit this and this is the top lagoon species, because nothing can contend. And the fact that I want to build a whole new night park based around this feature, this creature, the creature feature, like, that's got to count for something. The green, I mean, not every pattern pops at night, but the green and blue especially, well, especially the green, and then on a darker background, it's just so good. Nothing can contend with this. Yeah, I'm still putting it second, but nothing, like, I'm not willing to give it first place outright in the Lagoon, just because I've only had this for just over 3 hours, but I am beaming. This was, I think, in the species showcase, this was my biggest reaction that whole video. Seeing the bioluminescence on the Styxosaurus, it was a bit of a mess. It was all over the place. And the noise they make, oh, they're so cool! Similar to the T-Rex ranking, I can't believe that I'm putting a dinosaur like this over Spinosaurus. But I love Ceratosaurus. I think this is one of the best skins in the game. The blue one is also really nice, but this pink skin, it's absolutely beautiful. I think I fell in love with the skin. I don't think I had that much of a connection to it before, but I made that short when I was doing my All Campaigns park. It was hiding amongst the cherry blossoms in the Japan map. And it just suited so well. It's so gorgeous. This is one of the best skins of the game. I love this dinosaur. It has the best skins. Again, I feel kind of crazy for this one, that it's ranking above so many, you know, legacy species. But, oh my gosh, I love Edmontosaurus. I use it so often. I did have it ranked a little bit higher, and I did have to knock it down. It's got some nostalgia from Jurassic World Evolution 1, and it's unique enough to be a frequent feature. And then, obviously, this is the female. We have the absolutely gorgeous male design with this facial pattern. I think as hadrosaurs go, which is a species I use maybe the most out of any, I have more of these in my parks than any. And then I have more Edmontosaurus in my parks because it's my favourite hadrosaur. I know people have issues with the sexual dimorphism that's going on with the Triceratops, and people often prefer the, I think it's Jurassic Park skin that I have featured on the right here. But I love the males of the Triceratops. I think they are absolutely monstrous and chonky, and second to sauropods, the most unit of the herbivores. It looks like it could viably fight a T-Rex, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think they're awesome. Almost the best ceratopsid, but it has nostalgia too. It's the OG. Similar to Sauropelta, what happened here, I did not like this dinosaur. I didn't hate it, but now I've convinced myself it's a pangolin, and I think pangolins are amazing. And I used to not give this credit, but it's cute, and it's better polished than a lot of the ankylosaurids. It's much better than the Ankylosaurus. And in the most recent park, I found this skin, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. This is so, like, insane as skins go. I could see that from a mile away. It stands out so much. And this one's pretty damn good too. Yeah, the Nodosaurus has absolutely gorgeous skin choices and so much personality. Coming towards the end into the top 15, we have the Uteranus. It's maybe not the absolute best of its size range, but I love this. It's fluffy, and it's almost fuzzy, not just feathery. Like, obviously you look at the tail and the head and it's like feathers, but when I look at the actual fur, it's like almost like a bear's fur, and I want to call it fur rather than feathers. Yeah, I want to hug it. And the skins are fantastic. The little horns the male has, and the colour that you can get on that, where you have the rest of this like striking striped pattern. I then went on to use these after designing this one in my Canadian Park build, and it fit right in with the snow. Really on theme. So, to no surprise, we got the highest ranked flyer. Did jump a bit in the ranking because I found this absolutely gorgeous skin. It has the wow factor of the Avery. Gets a little old as the main star, kind of in the same way that Mosasaurus can, but it does a lot more than Mosasaurus does. When I compared this directly to the Thanatos Dracon, I don't know if they're going to get in the same shot because this enclosure is kind of huge,
The cresting, the colouring, it's just so much better. There's so much personality. There's even a variant for it now. Awesome stuff. Got so much going for it. And here we have the classic, the Stegosaurus. They were always going to be near the top, but I never thought this high. It's clearly the best of the Stegosaurids. The only chance they have at being dethroned are if the Werehusaurus comes back, or something very unique and new comes. Because, yeah, this is above and beyond the other Stegosaurids. Even Kentrosaurus that ranked a little higher, this is so much better. It's big, it's a unit, it looks like it could, again, similar to the Triceratops, reliably take down a carnivore. Like, yeah, it's a threat, and it knows it, and it's chunky, and I love it. And finally, rounding out the DLC of species that I've only had for about 3 hours, we have the Deinosuchus. Obviously, this was going to rank the highest. Yeah. When I want to build a deep water enclosure, Irritator and the Deinonychus are the top of my thought. Things like Baryonyx, Suchomimus, Pyroraptor, T-Rex, they're like... Even the Spinosaurus are kind of afterthoughts, and now, even more so. Some of the skins are boring. I did find that in the showcase when I put it on random, which I shouldn't have. But I went and found these ones, and the patterning on the tail is even more beautiful, and I really like the purple. And then you've got the male here, with, again, I love the green, the patterning's really nice. And yeah, the killer animation is almost enough to sell you on it. It's wonderful to finally have Crocs. It's so unique. There's nothing like it. Of course there's not. That's the appeal. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I'm being unkind to it in keeping it back in the position that it's in right now, because it is competing, where it sits, it's competing with some favourite dinosaurs. Right, the Nodosaurus was blocking the animation, but here is the Gigantosaurus. This might come as a shock, which is confusing to me because it's so special to me. I hate this, and I love this. If it was just the other one, this would rank probably below the T-Rex, if not below all the large carnivores. Actually, I think that is the lowest, so... I love this design. I had a book when I was a kid that had this green Gigantosaurus with, like, red... No, actually, I think it was the Top Trumps card, where Gigantosaurus had the most weight or bite force. It was one of the top trumps. It had one of the top ratings for a factor. And I just kind of fell in love with it because of that. And it had a very similar design to this. Yeah, I don't understand why anyone's picking this ugly thing. It's a monster dinosaur. It might as well be an Indominus Rex, and I actually might like Indominus Rex more than this because of its unique abilities like camouflage and being able to work with raptors and make them useful. Whereas this is one of my favourite dinosaurs ever. So, you know, really, really back and forth there. I'm only counting it for this one, not for the other variant. Very disappointed to see Gigantosaurus in the movies when it shows up like that. But they never use colours on movie dinosaurs. Why would you? They all have to be grey and brown and black. Like, what? Just make a colourful dinosaur. Are you insane? Oh, the Stygimoloch has just such a special place in my heart. It's the best Pachycephalosaurid, hands down. It's maybe my #1 dinosaur for filling out an enclosure, even above Dryosaurus. It's so good. It's got personality. It's a little more exciting than an Ornithomimid, a Hadrosaur. It's just, yeah, it's got sass, it's got style. We love it. Sounds like I'm doing a cheerleading chant, which it deserves, frankly. Its skins are also beautiful. I don't doubt that it could do a little bit of polish, but I think for one of the older dinosaurs of the game, it looks wonderful. Making it into the top 10, just about, we have the most visually interesting Ceratopsid, and immediately with these skins you can tell that that's the truth. I think I need to use this more. I think I go to the trike too often. I don't know why I don't use this more, but it's definitely my favourite, so maybe I should fit them in my newest build. Yeah, this is such a beautiful dinosaur. Again, the newer stuff they've made just looks better. And now we have the peak of the piscivores. I like them a lot better than Spinosaurus. I mean, look at the colours. The existing Spinosaurus from the Jurassic Park 3 has this aura, has this factor, but doesn't look like that Deepwater Hunter. Then you have the new Spinosaurus, the variant from the movie, which kind of looks weird and chunky and abnormal. Its neck is like really thick and its tail seems off. So this is the standout as the aquatic hunter. It's absolutely gorgeous. The skins are phenomenal. It has such a unique design to it. Nothing else looks like it. And then you compare it against the even lower ranking like Baryonyx and Suchomimus, and it's just leagues above. And now on to Amargasaurus. Amargasaurus, I'm so glad they are back. It hurt so much to not have, I mean, the weakest of those, Camarasaurus, but also the Nigersaurus, but most importantly, the Amargasaurus. It is... Having to use Apatosaurus as the small mid-range sauropod sucked. These absolute chonky units. They're thick bodies, they're massive spines, unique designs, it's just something else. And the skins are fantastic too, and that one's collapsed. I probably got too many dinosaurs in here. Yeah, it's just beautiful. I don't know how you're socializing because you're in each other. What a wonderful dinosaur. For a new dinosaur to get this high is a feat. Is easily the best Ankylosaurus. The babies are adorable and they are chunky. It fits a role that the other Ankylosaurus can't. It brings this cute... Like, the Nodosaurus babies are cute, but the base Nodosaurus is more beautiful. Whereas these are just cute. The adults are just straight up cute, which is hard to hold on to when the game added babies in. But yeah, they're able to do it. It's just got the best bits of every Ankylosaurus, and better skins at the cost of losing some spikes, you know? Sure, it's maybe not as intimidating, but it's all the better for it. The dark horse of this ranking. I had no particular feelings about this dinosaur. I'm not going to lie, I thought they were going to be quite middle of the pack, especially as a small to medium carnivore. I think this is insane design. Again, one of their newer ones. I think this is the best of Feathered. I think it's so good. It only just misses the top 5, which is a real shame because it has this factor that the feathered dinosaurs, they all share this like this fuzz, this tail, but the crest just brings something else out. It puts it above and beyond, and yeah, really absolutely came out of nowhere. Here it is. It's the duck, just cracking the top 5. This is, in my notes, I have written, this is the best, right? It's number 1. It has everything. Swimming, varied diet, good skins, cute babies. So, my intent on writing this script out was clearly to rank it first, but for it to be knocked down to 5th, something has changed up. I love this dinosaur. Yeah, it's so good, clearly. But maybe my recent usage or overusage of it since the Wetlands pack came out, I use them constantly, and especially in the Rebirth campaign, have been struggling to house them. They might have taken a knock because of that. But just the top 4 species I think hit a little harder as well. If you consider the limitations of the lagoon and the things that the land dinosaurs have over these species, how does this get to be ranked number 4? Because clearly if it was on land, it would be ranked number 1 with all those limitations. I have very little more to say than penguin. If you get me, you get me. It's... yeah. It would be the best dinosaur if marine had more options. If we get a marine free update, a lot of the marine species back, I think it could be the number 1. It's dangerous. I love it too much. It's by far the most adorable, and I think only adorable, lagoon creature. I think the rest just kind of sell intimidating or like a bit alien. But yeah, this is the cute lagoon, and it can use shark feeder, and it has the best shark feeder animation, in my opinion. So, yeah, Kronosaurus really pushing up there. Another one I thought could be my #1 rank. I used the movie skins here because I haven't used them much, the skins that are offered. But I don't think they're my favourite skins. They're definitely better. But, oh, these have a special place. I mean, this one brings back old memories of Disney's Dinosaur. This one brings back the intimidating factor that Carnosaurus had. I was scared of this dinosaur. I thought it was the devil. This was in my nightmares as a child. I had it in a book. Freaked me out. Game comes out, right? Game comes out. Dinosaur I didn't care too much about besides being scared and traumatized a bit by it when I was a child. Game comes out. Sits down like a chicken. My life is complete. I really thought this was going to get first. It's Big Chicken. I love it. It's now in that documentary where it's flapping its little arms, which shouldn't count towards its ranking here, but it does. I love it. I love it. It's incredible. I love it. Yeah. Can't believe it didn't win. Oh, this is recency bias. Yep. Whoops. This is the best sauropod. This is just like almost my favorite dinosaur now. It's got great color. It's got great skins. The animations, as sauropods go, are fantastic. The social animations are absolutely gorgeous, pulled straight from the movie. One of the few things that Rebirth was actually good for. It just destroys its competition. Yeah, what an amazing, amazing creature. The sails, it's almost aquatic. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But it's not first, because in first, oh, even the hatchery is glitching out now, you have the Dimetrodon. This is personality to a T. Does this dinosaur look like anything far more special than the other dinosaurs? No. No, of course it doesn't. Then why is it #1? Just sass. Just buckets upon buckets of sass. When I see this thing run, dreams are made come true. This is the creature with the most personality in the game by buckets. Like, oh my gosh, what a cool guy. Yeah, I love this thing. Watching it swim, seeing the babies, seeing it run, seeing it slowly waddle. I mean, again, not to self-promote too much, but if you check out the Rebirth campaign, where I made these guys again, because I make them in almost every park I do, there was an instance of one of them claiming a nest, and then taking about 20 minutes to get over to the other side. Now, any other dinosaur, I'm mad, because that exact same thing happened later in the playthrough with an Apatosaurus, and I was angry at it. I was shouting, I was saying, why is it so slow? But the attitude that these guys have, oh, absolute buckets of sass. I love them. I love them. Even in adult form, they're cute. And the babies are far cuter. What a perfect creature to finish off the list. I hope you enjoyed the list. I hope you share your opinions of your own with me. Obviously, I could probably turn this into some sort of murder park by turning on the setting. They are very peacefully coexisting for now. But yeah, let me know what you think. Share your opinions, and I'll be sure to comment on them and we'll have a discussion about some of my very low rankings and some of my much higher rankings. Yeah, let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know your thoughts on the dinosaurs and their rankings. And I hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one.